What's up, guys? This is John Vignacchi, executive producer on Disney Infinity, and you are listening to Inside Infinity, the first official Disney Infinity podcast on the net.
On this week's show, Toy Box Improvements and 2.0, Disney Infinity, the billion-dollar franchise, and your home away from home, Toy Box Interiors. All this and more on episode 49 of the Inside Infinity podcast. Now, a word from our sponsors. Alright, hello everyone. That was Evilos Customs at evilos.com. That's EVILOS.com. Welcome to episode number 49 of the Inside Infinity podcast. I'm your host, one of your hosts, Will Kelly, and with me tonight, joining me is Lloyd Hansen from VGPodcast.com.
Thanks, Will. Thanks for having me back, and I promise no bad Australian accents in this episode.
Okay.
I promise. Maybe other one, but not Australian.
You not only offended Jason, but you offended an Australian listener that was watching us live that day, but that's okay.
I told you, don't make me do it, and you made me do it. And I was, this is going to go bad. And you're like, just do it, it'll be funny.
Oh, that's true. I'll take the blame. And to my right, maybe you're right too. I have from the DisneyInfinityFans.com, our good friend, the Pirate Steven. Pirate, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Ahoy there.
Ahoy.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So tonight's episode is going to be pretty toy box focused. So we thought it would just make sense to have you joining us tonight, since you are kind of like the resident toy box artist. You've won. How many times have you won the toy box challenge?
7.
7, huh?
Yeah, I like that commercial you had on there, because I got my little Evilos Hall of Heroes collection right here.
Nice.
That's pretty nice, huh?
That's awesome.
It's Captain Jack Sparrow. It's awesome.
So what do you got? You got a bronze, a silver, and a gold Jack Sparrow?
I got a bronze, a silver, and a gold. And I'm so nerdy that eventually I will make this a bronze level in the game, a silver level in the game, and a gold level in the game. Just kidding. I don't have that much time on my hands.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, that is one of the many cool customs that you can get from evilos.com. So make sure you check out his stuff. We have an exclusive kind of a giveaway. Well, it's not kind of. It is a giveaway. We're going to announce later at the end of the show, kind of commemorating our 1-year anniversary, which is coming up. So stay on the lookout for that. This show, or this week's episode, along with all of our Inside Infinity episodes, are brought to you in partnership with the Disney Infinity Fans Forum, the #1 forum for Disney Infinity news, rumors, and just all-around community, great traders, and pretty much anything Infinity that you could possibly want, you can find there. So make sure you go check them out at DisneyInfinity.com. All right, gentlemen. Well, we have lots to cover tonight, so let's go ahead and get things moving and see how much we can get through. How's that sound?
Sounds perfect.
Okay, first up, we have our community section. So we got a couple questions, but before we do that, we want to wish a very 20-second happy birthday to Albert, who reached us out right before show started. He's celebrating his 22nd birthday today. So Albert, happy birthday from all of us at Disney Infinity TV and Inside Infinity Podcast. We wish you a happy birthday, and hopefully you're here sitting here watching and joining in with us celebrating your birthday. And everyone in the chat room, wish Albert a happy birthday just in case he is here.
We're not going to do a copywritten version of happy birthday for him?
No, but I will tell you a funny story if you want to hear one really quick. So
sure.
this last weekend was my birthday. It's bad, I already forgot it. That's how old I'm getting. Pirate, you're freaking me out. I went out to dinner with all my softball team last night, and we went out to just like one of these normal kind of bar and grill places, and there's like 13 of us. And dinner's over, whatever. I get up to go use the restroom, and I see like the the people in the restaurant, like all the wait staff, they start clapping and they start walking like opposite direction at me. I was like, oh, it must be someone's birthday. And then I go to the bathroom, I come back out, and everyone's staring at me, giving me this really weird look. It was kind of odd. And then they came out and wished me a happy birthday again. I was like, oh, that sucks for you guys. But it was really kind of funny. I saw them.
Missed your own song, Will. That's terrible.
I did.
I thought you were gonna say the wait staff said, "Are you that guy from that show?"
Only yes. I think one or two of them might have said that, or at least that's a conversation I had in my own head with that. So.
That's funny. I need to record. There's a guy locally at one of the restaurants that we go to, and he sings like Opera Man. And it's like the best rendition of a fake happy birthday song ever. I need to record it so I can play it whenever there's a birthday for anybody else, because it's the most awesome thing you would ever hear in your entire life.
That is great. And then people can write into the show, and we can play them the most like epic operatic version of Happy Birthday.
That'd be awesome, right? Yeah, it'd be great.
Cool. All right. Well, again, happy birthday, Albert. We hope you're having a good one. So now let's get to some reader mail. If you want to send us a question or comment, please feel free to do so. Just drop us a line, info@disneyinfinity.tv, and we will read it on air and make you a star. So first up, coming from CC Runner, who was actually one of the winners of one of our giveaways last week, he asked on the forums, you guys mentioned that the Avengers playset is 4 times the size of the Incredibles playset. I'm wondering if the larger sizes of these playsets mixed with the toy box upgrade will lower the amount of playsets available in general on 2.0. If so, would it be possible that the second leaked starter set will house the second wave of playsets with an additional game disc? So I think what he's saying there is the possibility of a Disney original starter pack. Will that have a second game? So I'm going to reserve my comment on this one. I don't know. What about Pirate? What do you think? Do you think that the current playsets that we know of are going to be much larger than each one of the playsets were before? And also, do you think that we could be getting an additional like actual physical game disc?
I think the playsets will be larger. We don't have to worry about the Wii's limitations anymore. We got the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Wii U, which are much newer systems than the other ones. So I think it'll be one disc with eventually some downloadable content down the way, but that's just my opinion.
Lloyd, what do you think?
I think it's actually a really great thought that I'd never even thought of this before. It's a really great idea where they'll come out with all this Marvel stuff, and then down the road they'll come out with a bunch of Disney stuff on another disc. I think that would probably upset a lot of people if that.
Pirates
I watched the last show, and it looked like I wasn't smiling at all during it.
So now you're going to be smiling constantly, huh? I love it. Hey, that's fine with me. All right. Awesome. Welcome back again, everyone. Sorry about that. Having bandwidth problems, but it looks like things are going good again. So we'll just pick up where we left off, and we were talking about playsets being larger. So one thought that I kind of had was that the starter pack comes with one playset this time, as opposed to the 3 playsets last time. So I would hope that they're also, with that in mind, kind of at least, I doubt it will be the length of those 3 playsets, but it would be kind of nice if they were close to those 3 playsets. So cool.
No, I agree with you. Like the 3 playsets gave you about, I don't know, 18 hours. It was about 6 hours per playset for some people. We won't call out someone right now on the show, because I'll get a tweet in the morning if I do. But so if you could get, say, 15 hours out of the Avengers playset, I mean, that would be crazy huge. That would be amazing. I'd love that. And then if each of the other playsets you're picking up would be back to 6 to 10 hours, that would be awesome. But it sounds like they're throwing a lot of other content into it as well. Like after you beat it, you can bring other characters into it. There's going to be other things that you're going to be able to do in the actual play set once the main campaign is completed. So there'll be the completionists out there, or the collector OCD type people will probably have a lot more time that they can spend in this playset than just going around and finding a bunch of green or red capsules, like in Disney Infinity 1.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for that, CC Runner. Appreciate. We appreciate that question. So now let's go to the next. This question's coming from Matt with the title of question. Awesome. Do you know how to get toys from the toy box characters? Like in 1.0, there were chests. And so I think what he's saying is, how are you going to unlock character-specific toys in the playset? And I don't know. Do we know that? I think that's still a big unknown. It kind of sounds. I kind of feel like I remember hearing someone say at one point that they're not going to have the character chest anymore. But Lloyd, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, I remember hearing that there isn't going to be like the random silver chests that will pop up. Instead, there'll be a bunch of quests that you can do with your character, which will then allow you to unlock stuff and buy stuff with that character, if I remember correctly. So you'll be able to buy content applicable to that character, which then might go into your big pool of toy box stuff.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense for the Marvel characters, but the thing I'm a little concerned with is those Disney original characters and how that's going to work.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be the same. They'll just you'll be downloading a toy box that someone created that has some gamey stuff in it that allows you to get the currency and maybe buy stuff for that character as well. I would think that would be the way they would do it anyway.
Hopefully. I mean, that wasn't a bad thing, but I think some people were a little bit like annoyed with those chests and having them pop randomly in the toy boxes. I know there's like all these tricks and stuff you can do, but
I had 4 new characters and I got the same chest constantly. Phineas, and the character wasn't even out yet, and I was ready to throw my controller out the window. And then finally you get one, and then when you open it, another one pops, and we managed to unlock most of the toys for those characters. But it was annoying seeing Phineas like 15 times in a row when the character wasn't even out yet at that time. So hopefully they don't do that again, because that was not so good.
Yeah, totally. All right. Thank you for that, Matt. Next up, we have a question from DMU Girl 2008. Question about 2.0. Hey, so I live in the UK, so I can't watch the show live. I have some questions. I bought Disney Infinity on the Wii U and am thinking about getting it on PS4, but there are some things I need to know. First, will I need PlayStation Plus to upload/download toy boxes? Second, will the levels my figures are at be transferred? Third, the forums have been talking about toys being unlocked using the 1.0 playset pieces and or saves. Will I be able to gain these if I swap consoles? Think your show is great. Also, I am hoping to submit my first toy box to Disney, so wish me luck. First and foremost, good luck on that. Pirate, do you have any suggestions, anything you'd like to say for a first-time submitter?
First-time submitter. I would have to say that if you're submitted for the first time, make sure that you make sure you have a really great original idea and theme with what you're doing, and most of all, enjoy what you're building, because once you get that first featured toy box, you're going to get addicted, and you're not going to be able to sleep. I tell you, I drive down the highway and I'm looking, and everything I see, I'm like, how do I build this in a toy box? A car will pass me. I'm like, oh, well, that's 2 long blocks, and then and everywhere I'll be watching a movie. Oh, you know what? I can recreate that with the replayer, and it's crazy. So yeah, I definitely just enjoy the ride and build the toy box for you. Don't build it specifically for the challenge. You can theme it towards the challenge a little bit, but definitely enjoy building it, and you'll get to play with it even if you don't get featured.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say, I thought your suggestion was going to be make sure you go watch your Inside the Toy Box show for all the tips and tricks to become a winning. Agreed. So there you go. There's some advice from Pirate Steven. But now let's get to your questions. So let's gotta go back to them. Will you need PlayStation Plus to upload or download toy boxes? Lloyd, what do you think? Is that going to be a requirement?
Yes. I think so. I'm just trying to think of all the other games out there, and pretty much any time that you have to use the online, unless it's a free-to-play game, I believe you require PlayStation Plus. So yeah, I think so. It hasn't been announced yet, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I would guess the same. I mean, it's kind of weird because PlayStation Plus for this gen is a little bit different than it was last gen. So yeah. On PS3, it definitely won't be because PS3 there's no limitation for online stuff. PS4, if you want to do any online multiplayer with any games, yes, but there are some games that don't require you to be online. So it has been said that, say for they announced the free co-op with Far Cry 4, the people that get that free co-op will require PlayStation Plus. So even though you're not buying a game that is playing online, you're just getting a free sample. You do require it. So I would assume that you would need it for PS4. But hopefully Disney can clarify that in the coming weeks and months. Yeah, I could see it. I suspect it will be the same. I could see that one piece of it being not requiring PlayStation Plus. Yeah. And just the multiplayer being a PS Plus requirement, but I'm going to guess with you that it's probably it would make so much sense to have it not require it for downloading and uploading toy boxes. But it wouldn't be a Disney decision. I don't think it would be a Sony decision, and they want everything that's online to require that subscription. So yeah, I'd like to say no, but my heart is screaming yes. Yes, it will. Awesome. And your other question, will you lose either character levels or 1.0 playset unlocks by switching consoles? So the levels are saved on the characters themselves, so no, they're going to carry over. And the playset pieces unlocks are actually tied to your Disney ID, so whatever you have unlocked on the Wii U is going to be accessible on the PS4 regardless of transferring consoles. So there you have it. That is the reader mail for this week. So thank you all for writing in and asking questions. We have one more coming from Instagram. How do you get interior decorations? And we are having an interior discussion here in just a little bit, so we will get to that. And that was sent in on Instagram by Madison88. So be on the lookout for that, Madison. If you want to ask us a question, reach out to any of our social networks or drop us a line again at info@disneyinfinity.tv. All right, guys, now let's get along with the news because we have lots of it. So the first item here actually came from I don't think I pronounced this right, so feel free, chat and my fellow host, laugh at me when I mispronounce this, but is it Reuters? Reuters.com? Reuters, like I said, Reuters.com. No, I'm kidding. Pirate wasn't smiling, so I had to say something to make him smile.
It was funny. I thought you were going to mispronounce Maleficent again.
Maleficent. After that one episode, I could pretty much say it in my sleep, I think, now without. So anyway, this was a article interviewing Disney Infinity at President Jimmy Pitaro, president of the Disney Interactive, was interviewed at E3 and basically discussing lots of things, but one of the things they discussed was that Disney Infinity is well on the way to becoming a billion-dollar franchise. Not surprising in the least. So far, Disney Infinity has reported global sales reaching 550 million. That's just the first edition. I don't know, Lloyd, do you know what Skylanders is sitting at? I've heard a couple billion at this point. I believe so. I'm trying to rack my brain through articles that we talked about on D-Res way back in the day, and I can't think of it. But yeah, I think it was like 2 billion. I want to say, but don't quote me on that. Let me Google it really quickly. Maybe there's another Reuters article on that. I will look for it. Grr, Twitch, grr. Just kidding. We love you, Twitch. So Reuters. Thanks, Lloyd. He put that in the voice. So basically, what we're saying once again is Disney Infinity is kicking butt, and who knows? who knows how far they are going to get. The possibilities are infinite, so I've been told. All right. Well, that is kind of the main news of the week. Let's get on with our continuing our post E3 discussion. So each week we've been taking something that we briefly brought up post E3 and delving a little bit more into it. So now we are going to be talking about toy boxes, and we have lots of awesome, great information. So first up, toy boxes. One thing that is kind of neat is how you are going to share stuff. You can download a toy box now, and the creator can say, when you come into the toy box, here are the 5 weapons that I want you to have or that are dropped. So Pirate, this sounds like a really cool gameplay mechanic that just isn't really possible currently, and yeah, I don't know, I think this sounds pretty cool. As an artist, what do you think about this, Steve? Could you make some cool adventures with like being able to specifically drop certain weapons in a toy box?
Well, currently, you can always put a trigger pad and do a weapon or object generator to pop certain toys up, but it was kind of limited. Like, you didn't get, I felt like any of the generators, you weren't getting your full catalog of weapons, or if you wanted to put townspeople in a storage capsule, you didn't have every character to choose from. You only had 10 or 12 different ones to choose from. It'd be great to be able to have the possibilities be infinite when making those selections.
Yeah, and this is coming from JV, and he also said in the next line, you can create as an economy so that you can go in and buy and price certain things. So I think maybe that's what this means. So like you can actually have an economy to upgrade your weapons or other unlocks in your specific toy box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know, like a lot of people that made Tron toy boxes, they would have loved to have an area where they could drop the disc, the little frisbee disc, but that wasn't an option to give people in the toy boxes you were building. So just like I said, the full catalog, having the possibilities be infinite of what you're able to generate would be awesome.
Cool. Lloyd, this just kind of makes my mind race on the types of adventures that could come out of something like this, especially
Sure.
with the creative minds out there. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you can make a pseudo RPG where you basically give the character like a baseball bat type weapon to begin with, and they have to battle through a bunch of enemies, unlock a door, and then they get a gun, and then they go through, and then they get something that's bigger, like a missile launcher, whatever the weapons that are like that in Disney Infinity 2. That sounds really cool. It also is going to allow people to unlock stuff potentially that they don't already have access to. I remember way back in the day, there was an official Disney playset that released, and it gave you the frying pan. So I had it was up there for like an hour, and then it was pulled down and replaced with another one. But I had the frying pan in my game since that day, and it was awesome to be playing with that right off the bat. And I found one of the blasters from the Toy Story in Space set in another toy set that I downloaded. So it was kind of cool to kind of pick up those items, and it's like, oh, I'm not supposed to have that yet. It would be kind of neat for people that maybe don't have the ability to get all the figures to play with some of those weapons in toy boxes, even if they're not saved permanently. But then the ability to download something and get access to some features that you maybe don't have access to is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it will be a good way of advertising those items to. Yep. Maybe it's a special character unlock or a playset unlock that isn't the starter pack. It will advertise those things and be like, okay, this is too much fun. I want this, which means I have to go out and buy that playset.
Yep.
Cool. Well, yeah, I can't wait to see that. That's really exciting news. Next up, a little discussion on how the toy unlocks are going to happen within the toy box. We briefly touched on this last week, but basically, sounds like they listened to our loving words of possible improvements for Disney Infinity 2.0. So this is John Blackburn was quoted saying, "The spin system was not very fun." Talking about how randomized the toy unlock system was for one. You didn't get the toy you wanted, so we revised in 2.0. We unlock about 250 toys right out of the gate. If a save file is detected, we go and unlock another 200 or 300. The others you unlock based on your progression. Placing down a playset piece automatically unlocks all in-game toys associated with that playset. We want you to feel like the playsets that you had in 1.0 do have some value. So additional toys are unlocked with Sparks by visiting the in-game store. And that's from Game Informer issue number 255, July. That's really cool news. I mean, one complaint about the first one is that a lot of people, that's the thing that they wanted, and they wanted to play in the toy box right out the gate, and you go into the toy box and you can't do anything. So it's Lloyd, do you agree?
Yeah, that was when we first got the game. I was telling my kids about how cool it was, and you could build all this great stuff, and then you open toy box for the first time and there's like 3 things. It's like, oh, all right, maybe we'll play some of these play sets first, and it turned out to be enjoyable. But yeah, that was definitely a problem. Hopefully it won't be such a problem now.
And I just like the fact that they're giving you some amount of control. It sounds like you're going to be able to either choose some that you want, or at least guide yourself to the specific toys that you do want.
Yeah, and it's great that they spelled it out here, saying that if you do have all the playsets from Disney Infinity 1, you drop them down and all that stuff is there right off the bat. Mm-hmm. It's been talked about that we're trying to do that, or we'd like to do that. Now it's official, since it's in Game Informer. So that is a good thing. So if you have some favorite pieces from Toy Stories in Space or Lone Ranger, you'll be able to use those right off the bat when you start making toy boxes in 2.0.
I wonder how much, what the price point is going to be of the Disney Infinity 1 playset packs once DI2 drops, because there's still a lot of value in them, but not as like a $35 value, because it doesn't have the long campaign in it. It still includes all the toys and 2 figures. So
that's interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
You know, they'll probably sell them at least for a little bit, and I'm guessing they'll be $20 as the manufacturer retail price at the point, but we'll see.
Without the figures. An example of unlocking toys for the toy box within playsets, the Avengers playset, the mission Sheer Wheel Power. Locate and drive the SHIELD motorcycle. You have to bring the motorcycle to Nick Fury's location. For completing that mission, the motorcycle becomes available in the toy box. So because one other, and I don't know if that's a Nick Fury specific. I don't know if this requires a certain character, but you know, one thing, and it's a question that we've gotten asked on the show, is are the character playset vaults coming back? And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully because the whole intention of that was to, hey, here's a reason to collect every single character from this playset. We give you these cool toys you couldn't get otherwise. Yeah. I get it, but hopefully there's another way of kind of doing that.
Yeah, it sounds like there's going to be character-specific missions, and if you complete all the missions, some of the characters will be usable in other playsets. So they might say, okay, well, if you want to use Nick Fury in Avengers, you have to do all this stuff in the Spider-Man playset, and then you can bring Nick Fury into Avengers. So there'll probably still be carrots on a stick to encourage you to purchase all the stuff, but maybe not the big glowing vault that has 5 circles on it. It's like, damn it, now I got to go buy all the rest of the Incredibles right off the bat because I want to see what's in there. Although that was kind of cool to unlock it in the big flood of stuff that would fly out of that vault when you unlocked it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, that's exciting. Next up, something that a lot of people are really excited about, myself included. This so far, this might be my favorite toy box item announced that I'm most excited about, and that is interiors. So some new news we got. Interiors have 350 to 400 unlockable items. That's a crazy amount. That's specific to interiors, because another item is interior toys cannot be used in a standard toy box. So like outside of an interior area. So that means 350 to 400 unlockable items in interiors that's outside of the toy box toys. That's crazy.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Pirate, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, that just makes my head spin with what what possibilities could be with that many interiors.
Yeah, I just thought my Disney Infinity 2 figures easy because they're just gonna be sitting on that superhero couch and watching the TV in my interior. Probably gonna get all flappy and lazy. But yeah, I can't wait. I'm already thinking about what kind of villains layer I'm gonna build to have all my people hang out with. Maybe put a dungeon so I can throw all the good guys and the princesses in. But I'll call it a fungeon like they do in Wreck-It Ralph, so they'll be all right.
A fungeon.
I mean, all the set pieces look great. I mean, you could have your own Avengers living room. They have different couches themed to Iron Man, Hulk.
The Captain Shield coffee table.
Piece looks great. I can't wait to see. It could be myself or somebody else that makes a Gravity Falls Mystery Shack interior, and it sounds like you can make it exactly like it is in the cartoon.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
So, yeah, I can't wait.
It makes me wonder how many of those 350 to 400 unlockable items for interiors are going to be horse troughs for all the horses that you had in Disney Infinity 1. Is there going to be one for each horse, maybe? That'd be good. You could set up your own stables. It would be fun time for everybody.
It must be done.
Yeah, they're not done with horses yet because we still haven't got Pegasus. So
True.
Fingers crossed for 2.0 that we'll finally get Pegasus.
If there's a Disney Infinity game, there's going to be a Disney Infinity horse, or lots of them.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, instead of Disney Infinity Marvel superheroes, it'd be Disney Infinity horses.
Oh my gosh. That's what 3.0 is going to be. No Star Wars here. The chat room just said nay. Crystal Perry. Thanks for filling in Steve C's shoes there. So I guess the real question is, so how do you unlock these items for the interiors? And it's similar to the toys. You're going to be able to unlock them like you do other toys within the toy box, but then also through special missions and playsets and just other ways within playsets. I assume you're going to be able to buy them from some of the playset stores, toy stores as well.
Like they have the tree builders or the race builders. I wonder if they're going to have an interior designer townsperson so they can build your inside for you and you can just move the furniture around.
That's an interesting idea.
It could be.
I don't know. So there are going to be logic toys and interiors. So you're going to be able to do cool things like adding secret doors and stuff like that. So who knows? Maybe there will be interior designers or / builders that could make some cool creative toys. But the logic toys in the interior, I think that's where you're going to get some really cool like dungeon crawling games, or some of those just not just hangout hideouts like Pirate was mentioning, but actual gameplay mechanics within the interiors. I don't know. All I'm saying is give me the rail system, not the current rail system, but a track system, and some animatronic ghosts, so I can make my haunted mansion, and I will be a happy camper.
I've been hearing about this haunted mansion for a year now. I can't wait to see it.
You know what? I got an Xbox working, so I'll show you the prototype version that I have currently. So then you can get off my back about that.
All right, deal.
Cool. So that's interiors. That's a little more info that we know about that. Now let's talk about something else that was mentioned, and it's the door system. So we know the door system works with interiors, so you can put a door on pretty much any building, including the Mystery Shack, so you can make that Pirate, and then it creates an interior. But you can also have these doors that interlock your toy boxes. You can have 10 doors and something called a set, and a set is a collection of toy boxes and or interiors that can be uploaded in one collection. So that's cool. I mean,
that's interesting.
Isn't that cool?
So you could have a series of levels that would all be accessible from a hub that you can upload all at once. That's great. I want that.
Or so you could have like a hub and spoke system, which we've kind of talked about at length, but we'd never really discussed it as far as being a shareable item. But this is also a cool kind of leveling, not of the characters, but like gameplay, you know, go through this door or beat this boss, this door opens up and it takes you to the next level.
Yeah, that'd be cool if multiple toy box artists or people could make each room. I mean, that'd be incredible.
That would be
More
really cool.
collaboration there, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
That would be neat for Disney if they could release one toy box for the current weekly challenge, and it's basically just a hub and spoke system with all the levels kind of branching off that. So you could say, hey, download this month's theme park or hidden mansion, haunted mansion, whatever challenge, and you get all of them, and they're labeled with posters on the wall or something, and then you go through the door and you're in that person's toy box. That would be really cool.
That's a good idea too. And then it's just one download. You don't have to worry about like all the different downloads. You can just be like, this week I want to download the Wall-E challenge, and it gives you all of them.
Yep, that's cool. Hopefully that happens. That'd be really neat.
Yeah, I don't know. That's awesome. And again, that's one more thing that's just going to make my head like spin with possibilities of what toy box artists are going to be able to come up with. All right. Well, next up, another requested feature that a lot of people have been wanting is camera improvements. And so there's a few more cameras. So two of the new cameras are, one is a target camera and the other is one we've seen quite a bit of, and that's an isometric camera. So that's for that kind of dungeon crawling mode. All the cameras can be attached to a point, either a new logic toy. Sorry, let's try that again. It can be attached to a point, which is a new logic toy called a locator toy. So their intention is to mark the location of an event. So say you walk through a door and you kind of have like a cutscene that happens at another place. Maybe it's an enemy spawner. If you have that locator toy there popping that camera, then it will show what's happening there. They can be connected to things like enemy generator toys to have an enemy spawn in a specific location and see that. So locator toys are hidden when you don't have your wand out. So I don't know, Pirate. So I submitted one of technically it was my second submission, but it was my first real college try submission this last week, and I added a couple cameras there. And one thing I kind of didn't like is that I noticed the camera shadows on the floor, or if you were observant, you could look around and find these cameras, and that's not something I really wanted to see. But it sounds like cameras, unless you have your wand out, they are not going to be visible anymore, which is pretty cool. And actually, all creative toys will be like that, it looks like. So either wand mode or build mode.
Yeah, I definitely like that. Nothing's more embarrassing than looking at a toy box and seeing the creativity toys just sitting there. So I think that is great to make them invisible, just in case somebody forgets about them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the skills to being an effective toy box builder is learning creative ways to hide your creative toys. But a trick that I learned is don't make them in ridiculous locations that is almost impossible for you to then edit them, because then you'll spend all your time looking around your toy box trying to find that stupid cheering horn or something. So that's pretty exciting. So cameras, they can also be told to track players or AI, which is pretty neat. I mean, you have the camera that will kind of follow a character now, but I assume this is not only a little more robust, but you can also have it track AI characters as well. And then kind of on top of that, it's not really character related, but speech bubbles is something that's going to be in the toy box. So you can actually kind of create those stories and have NPCs giving you directions or expanding on whatever story you're trying to tell, or just whatever. But one interesting comment about this is that in order for speech bubbles to work, you must have a console connected to the internet, and that is to verify the appropriateness of the text, which is...
That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And it's interesting. I like the fact that they're doing that. I mean, I guess the interesting part is, well, if I'm not connected to the internet, that means I don't need to censor the text for myself, but it makes sense in that context.
Yeah, I mean it's just going to make it easier for Disney to approve all these toy boxes that you're sharing, because they won't have to look at each toy box. They can just look at all the text separately, run it through a bunch of filters to see if any trigger words pop up, and then maybe it'll go into a moderation queue or something. Disney has to protect the kids, so it makes sense they do something like that. When I first heard the rumor of speech bubbles and instructions, I was like, all right, I'm just waiting for the first ASCII art of various things to appear in toy boxes you download. So hopefully this will prevent a lot of that.
Yeah, completely agree. Pirate, what do you think about being able to add just speech bubbles to NPC characters to kind of, I don't know, the first thing comes to mind is telling a story, but I'm sure you could use it for lots of different things.
I'm currently working on a toy box with an obstacle challenge, and I was trying to figure out if I wanted my block art to say something. So I was going to make this big speech bubble and out of blocks, and then put some wording on it. And that's a lot of work. So I decided to nix that. It would have added some humor and some story into it, but yeah, my character is not going to be talking until Disney Infinity 2.0 comes out, which is a good thing.
Yeah, that's funny. And I mean, there have been some insanely creative ways to guide players and to add text and to finish stories off. But it's nice to hear that there's going to be some more specific things. We've even discussed in the past about how there's going to be kind of fade in and fade out cameras as well, which is pretty cool to kind of help with some of that. So awesome. Well, that is cameras. I can't wait to see what comes out of that. So moving on here. So one thing that is a favorite toy box logic creativa toy, and that is the volume triggers. And volume triggers are actually going to be scalable now. So there's going to be 2 anchor corners, and you're going to be actually able to scale those areas, which is really cool. I don't know, that leads me to the question of, well, can you scale other items? I mean, that's a simple box, so it seems like it's something pretty simple and easy to do and implement, but I don't know, I'd love to be able to scale other things like blocks and terrain pieces. I mean, imagine what would be possible if you could scale blocks. You could essentially model anything that way, because you could make blocks small and large, and I don't know.
I'm just hoping, even if you can't do that, I'm just hoping that you can rotate blocks like differently than just like around one way, have them rotate the other way, because there's no way to do curved or underbellies of things. If you want to have like a floating temple that has a jagged rock thing that you're creating in blocks, you can't really do that. It'd be nice if you could rotate them on a different axis, and scale would be obviously really good too. But yeah. I want to rotate, because I had great ideas for making a logo in a toy box, and then I realized there's absolutely no way that I could put the bottom of the logo on. So I did plant it in the ground, and it worked out okay, but it was just a little bit annoying.
Pirate, you're not smiling enough. There you go. What about rotating something other than 9 degrees?
That'd be nice too.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, I could see some logistical issues with that and snapping, but it would still be nice. So, Pirate, what do you think about the current controls of the toy box? Do you have issues with them? One thing that I constantly do accidentally is when I'm backing out from like build to spark mode, I can't remember from what to what. If you press the wrong button, which is a different button depending on the view you're looking at, you can easily delete items, and I've deleted stuff more times than I could possibly think. Do you have complaints with the controls in the toy box now? So we were asking Pirate about controls as a toy box artist, and he was saying he did not like undo controls, or no, he wished there was an undo controls button.
Yeah, because I can't tell you how many times I've clicked the apply all accidentally, and my whole toy box turns into a military block background. and the sad part is when iPad version first came out, the copy button is exactly where the apply all button is now. So I might have done it like 4 times on one toy box, just having to start over because everything turns into Army and it automatically saves it, or I didn't save it before then.
Yeah, it's definitely an exercise in the old like file save button from Word back in the day before when it would always crash, because I've done that more times than I can count too.
Yeah, or if you click apply all, are you sure you want to make your whole toy box Army man or something?
Yeah, kind of like when you throw down a disc, right?
Right.
Yeah.
What I always wished you could do would be to use the paintball gun to actually paint things. So you could choose a texture and then just paint the blocks by shooting with the paintball gun. That would have been the ultimate way to do that. Because, yeah, it's kind of cumbersome having to select every block and go to edit and then customize and then choose your texture and then hit apply. It would be nice if they gave us an easier way to do that.
That's a really good idea. I like that one too. Cool. Well, it does look like, I don't know if we're getting an undo button, but it does look like the controls are going to be revamped a little bit. So that is exciting, and that's just one of those things. I think it works better in hand. So we're not going to go over those button mapping, but it is going to be an improvement. The last piece for the toy box discussion of this week is actually a pretty big one, and it's a great addition to the user interface, and that is going to be, finally, we are going to be getting filters. So what that means is, an example is you can tell it to show only toys that are from the Avengers playset, or only toys that are Logic toys, or I don't know, the 25 most common toys that you put down. So you're going to be able to filter and tag and favorite toy box toys. So there's more filters, but that's just to name a few, and that's really exciting, because I know for me personally, I get tired of constantly scrolling through the ribbon trying to figure out, like, and it's funny, sometimes I'm not paying attention, I'm staring right at it, but I just must not be like understanding what I'm seeing, because I'll go through it like 3 times and be like, okay, I know I've seen the terrains before, I know I've seen the set pieces, where the heck is this one area that I'm trying to find?
Yeah.
So, and the whole tagging feature, oh, that sounds awesome, right? I mean, you have a toy box that, I don't know, it's Princess and the Frog themed, and so you have a Tiana townsperson in there, and you have Prince Naveen, and so you could tag it as such, even though from on face value it may not appear as though it has anything to do with that. Pirate, does tagging and filtering, is that something that interests you?
Yeah, anything to help the process of finding things in a toy box and make it easier for people. I think filtering is great.
Yeah, I agree. Lloyd, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I mean, it'll be useful. I'll have the dozen things that are always in my toy box tagged as favorites, and then we'll let it fill in the rest with what I use constantly. So that'll be really useful.
Cool. Yeah, it's exciting. I don't know if, from everything we've discussed, if you can remember at this point, since we've had gone on and off air a couple times, the toy box improvements are huge, and it sounds like they're putting a lot of time and effort into improving the toy box experience and really giving the fans what they want, and that's a great thing, because over 60% of the time is spent in the toy box. Famous quote by JV, and so they definitely want to make sure that they invest a lot of time in developing the toy box more. And before show started, Lloyd and I were talking with Jason, and he was saying that with the improvements that 2.0 is bringing in the toy box, imagine what improvements we're going to have that's built off of that for 3.0. So right now we're sitting at 1, a 1 conversion to 2, and then whatever comes in 3 is going to be built off of 2.0, and that's going to be just crazy cool.
You'll get one of Jason's epic rants about stuff that should be there, and he'll have a top 10 list, and then that'll be the first top 10 features that are put into version 3.
There you go.
So they iterate off that. It's going to be awesome.
Well, here's hoping. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, there's always something to complain about, right? And there's always something that could be improved. And oh, I wish this was like this. But
Yep.
the improvements that we've talked about today and that we've heard of so far sounds pretty cool. And I think we're in for a treat no matter what. So. Awesome, gentlemen. Well, that's, we came back for 5 minutes just to finish off this conversation. Thanks again for everyone who has stuck it out with us. We promised an Evilost giveaway at the end of the show, and we're not actually announcing the giveaway yet. We are going to lead up to it in the next couple weeks. We'll have rules posted next week, and then the giveaway will happen on our 1 year anniversary show.
20, nice.
Will's phone us.
No, I don't know why the 25-hour marathon popped into my head, and we're not doing that. So be on the lookout for that. I would show you what it looks like on screen, but I don't want to crash my system again. So we're just gonna. I will tell you this though: it is a custom painted Agent P figure. It's a crystal Agent P figure, and it is painted to look like a non-crystal figure. So looks really awesome, kind of like his crystal Mr. Incredible figure and crystal Lightning McQueen character. So it's just really vibrant because the base was that crystal. So make sure you check out next week. We will announce the rules on that, and then we'll be giving it away soon. So thanks to everyone who stuck it out with us in the chat room. You can watch the show live every Monday evening at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. You just got to go to DisneyInfinity.tv, and you can watch and chat with us live. If you like what we do and you like the Twitch live stream, just go ahead and you can follow us on Twitch. Just look for Disney Infinity TV. You can also look for us at any of our social networks, and also subscribe to us on the iTunes or Stitcher Radio, and check us out at YouTube, youtube.com/Disney Infinity TV. Again, I'd like to thank our partner, the Disney Infinity Fans. That's DisneyInfinityFans.com, and it is the #1 Disney Infinity forum for news, rumors, community, and trading. Lots of good trading there. So there you go. So Pirate Steven, you smiled a little bit more tonight. People in the chat room were even giving you a hard time.
They're very appreciative of the teeth.
Look at those pearly whites.
I flash them every now and then. Also, just to add on to what you just said about the forums, there's 2 additional giveaways they're doing right now, which have been getting great response. And that is, we're giving away a Hawkeye figure along with the invitation from the Marvel announcement for Disney Infinity, as well as an Iron Fist figure and an invitation as well. So definitely check that out, because people want those things. So very popular right now.
Yes. Hey, thanks for that. I meant to bring that up. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. That's one of the few places outside of spending lots of money on eBay to get some of these new 2.0 figures. And Pirate, so you not only are on Disney Infinity Fans, but you also run a show for the forums and for Disney Infinity TV called Inside the Toy Box. And you've recorded, 2 episodes, and you're going to be recording another one real soon that will hopefully drop this week, right?
Yeah, we have another exciting episode of Inside the Toy Box coming this week. It's going to be mainly talking about the Wally challenge, as well as the July challenges that are coming up. So if you have any interest in toy box building, you definitely want to check it out. It has lots of cool tips and tricks, and you get to learn some behind the scenes information, or behind the toy box information on some of the featured toy boxes that are released each week. It's a great show and concept, and I'm excited to bring it to all the fans out there.
Yeah. And you can find out when that drops on Disney Infinity Fans, and then we'll also tweet it out, and it'll go on YouTube. So, Pirate, thank you for joining. Thanks for sticking it out with us tonight. I know it was kind of a rough one, but as always, it's a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
You're not Jason Haynes, but that's what's showing me on the screen.
I was going to say something, but I just didn't want to make anything else break, so I just I left it alone.
Oh, that was awesome. Lloyd Hannison from VDpodcast.com.
Yes,
thanks
sir.
for taking the place of Jason. So the way it's going to work, the two of you are going to be alternating each week, helping me co-host this show. And you know, despite what some people may think, that it was not your fault. The reason we had some issues tonight, that was all on my end. So
yeah, I don't do anything. I just chat in the chat room. That's all I do.
So thank you. And do you want to go ahead and plug what you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. Do many gaming podcasts over at VGPodcasts.com. Do check it out. We do a lot of different shows over there, including one that I co-host with Will called Derezzed, which is our general gaming news and info show that we put together. So we talk about the latest news, what we've been playing, some of the biggest things that have happened in the gaming industry, and we bring it almost each and every week to you guys over at VGPodcasts.com. We had a small break in the schedule, but now we're getting back into it. So do check it out if you have some time and you have more podcast spaces open in your podcatcher of choice. If you need some more content to fill those holes, you can help over at VGPodcasts.com.
Awesome. Yeah, and it's a great network you have over there. So make sure you go and check out Lloyd's stuff.
Thank you.
Good content. All right, everyone. Well, I think that is going to do it for this week's show, episode number 49 of the Inside Infinity podcast. We can't wait to see you next week. And until then, we hope your week's filled with infinite possibilities.